And so that's having to do with the second version. However, in the original version, I found over a dozen. In the original version of the Final Curtain, I found over a dozen corresponding shots with environment, angles with the character, camera angles, which aren't allowed to be copied according to intellectual property rights and principles and laws. You're not allowed to copy shots, angles, exact sequences, locations, and then put it into another movie. And the thing is, I had a little fling with Reese Witherspoon. It wasn't really that much that happened, but I had like a short, it wasn't that short, of an on and off communication with her for about 3 years, between the years of 2000, I'd say 2009 to 2012. And it might have been from 2008 until 2012, and then, or 2011, 2008, 2011, let's say. And then she got married and had another kid and all that, and I was no longer a part of her little world. But we had a little fling where we talked via text and email, and we see each other once in a while. I'm not going to say anything was that crazy, but we were like flirty. Then she made a movie with Tom Hardy, which I was completely jealous over because she stopped talking to me after that. However, during the time I was talking to her, she emailed me a couple times and asked me what movies I would prefer to see as a Marvel franchise. And I said Venom, was my favorite character, anti-hero, Spider-Man's arch nemesis. Spider-Man was by far my favorite character. And that grew into an appreciation for Venom and Carnage as characters. And I had a comic book fling for about 10 years, between the time 5 years between the time I was 6 or 7 and 11 or 12. So I knew all about Carnage and Venom and all that. I read every Spider-Man comic I could, back in between 1985 and 1980, whatever. So the thing is, Sony, basically now I'm taking them to court because I need to clarify what intellectual property is mine and what intellectual property is theirs. Now, I said I found over a dozen shots. I have examples of this. I put them up in another video. I am taking Sony to court for intellectual property rights over the Venom movie derived from my documentaries and my short film entitled The Final Curtain, with connotations from my other short films. Little sequences, little scenes, robbery scenes, taken from The Final Heist, a movie that I, started. My documentary on homelessness in Humboldt County in California. There were scenes that were mimicked, in the Eddie Brock report. Now, nothing against the chap Tom Hardy, but it says at the end of Venom 2, story by Tom Hardy. I don't really believe that. I believe that my story was targeted. And now this is the second time that I was targeted by Sony. The first time was in 2018. Actually, this is the second time is debatable. First, in 2018, after the Venom movie was released, I started developing a patent for the smart radio, satellite radio. It was a handheld Walkman type radio. And these fucking birds don't shut up, man. Yo, shut up. I'm trying to fucking make a video. So I developed a patent for the smart radio, to which I was exiting the bathroom of my townhouse that I was renting, and I see a 7-year-old Chinese girl coming out of my room and running away. That's happened at least on 2 occasions. Now, when I go to check my stuff after she leaves, my USB with all the patent information, the inquiry, the paperwork, it's all gone, as well as a pocket knife and the physical paperwork for the patent. And shortly after, I received a call from the developers, Davison, and they tell me that the technology is 20 years ahead of schedule. and that they're ready to work on it, but it's going to be like prolonged. And then every time I try to make a payment for the patent or submit something new for the prototype, I was given a runaround. You know, I wasn't able to pay for the patent. I wasn't able to pay for the prototype. I wasn't able to develop the project after the little Chinese girl stole the files. Now, maybe she wasn't Chinese, you know. Maybe she was Korean. It doesn't really matter. I think she was working for Sony. Now, her family was staying there in the room next door to mine, and they didn't even speak English. You know, the whole family was living in this one little tiny room. I had a big old room. Just seems suspicious to me. But anyway, so y'all know, I'm physically taking Sony to court, to the Supreme Court, and I'm going to deal with this issue of Venom versus the Final Curtain. Now, look forward to new videos on this. I'll continue to update.